This is Pratyush Mishra, and this presentation is all about John von Neumann architecture. This architecture is very important and it is used in our personal computers and even supercomputers also. So let's understand it. Historically, there are two types of computers. First one is fixed program computer and second one is stored program computers. Let's move forward and understand what are they. Fixed program computer. Their function is very specific and they couldn't be programmed. Example of this is calculators. Another one is stored program computer. These can be programmed to carry out many different tasks. Applications are stored on them, hence the name. The modern computers are based on stored program concept introduced by John von Neumann. In this stored program concept, programs and data are stored in a separate storage unit called memories and are treated the same. This novel idea meant that a computer built with this architecture would be much easier to reprogram. This is the basic structure of John von Neumann architecture. In this, there is a central processing unit which contains control unit and arithmetic logic unit. And outside it, there is input unit, output unit, and memory unit. Let's understand it, these units one by one. Also, one point to be noted that John von Neumann computers are also called as IAS computer. In this, IAS stands for Institute of Advanced Study Computer. This name is given because this computer, but that is IAS computer, was made in Institute of Advanced Studies, Princeton. Now coming to basic units of computer, it has basically three basic units. The first and the most important is the central processing unit. Second one is main memory unit and third one is input output unit. Coming to control unit, which is a part of central processing unit. A control unit handles all processor control signals. It directs all input and output flow, fetches code for instructions and controlling how data moves around the system. Arithmetic logic unit, which is also a part of central processing unit. The arithmetic logic unit is that part of the CPU that handles all the calculations the CPU may need. Example, addition, subtraction, comparison. It performs logical operations, bit shifting operations and arithmetic operations. This is the basic and the structure defining the CPU and its registers. Now coming to main memory units, registers. Accumulator. Accumulator is a register that stores the results of calculations made by arithmetic logic unit. Program counter, or PC in short, keeps the track of memory locations of next instructions to be dealt with. The PC then passes this next address to the memory address register. Memory address register, MAR. It stores the memory locations of instructions that need to be fetched from the memory or stored into memory. Memory data register, MDR. It stores instructions fetched from memory or any data that is to be transferred to and stored in memory. Current instruction register, CIR. It stores the most recently fetched instructions while it is waiting to be coded and executed. Instruction buffer register, IBR. The instruction that is not to be executed immediately is placed in the instruction buffer register. Now coming to input output devices. Program or data is read into main memory from the input device or secondary storage under the control of central processing unit input instructions. Output device are used to output the information from a computer. If some results are evaluated by computer, it is stored in the computer. Then with the help of output device, we can present it to the user. Buses. Data is transmitted from one part of computer to another, connecting all major internal components to CPU and main memory by the means of buses. There are basically three types of buses. First one is data bus. It carries data among memory unit, the input output devices and the processor. Second one is address bus. It carries the address of data, not the actual data, between the memory and the processor. Control bus. It carries control commands from CPU and status signals from other devices in order to control and coordinate all the activities within the computer. Now coming to the last top point of this presentation, von Neumann bottleneck. Whatever we do to enhance the performance, we cannot get away from the fact that instruction can only be done one at a time and can only be carried out sequentially. Both of these factors hold back the competence of CPU. This is commonly referred to as von Neumann bottleneck. We can provide a von Neumann processor with more cache, more RAM, or faster components. But if original gains are to be made in CPU performance, then an influential inspection needs to take place of the CPU configuration. This architecture, which you have watched in this, which I have presented in this presentation, is very important and is used in our PCs and even in supercomputers. Thank you for watching it.